G'day everybody and welcome to The Local. That's right, a chance to celebrate local footy across the great nation of Australia. We're 4 games into, 5 rounds into the AFL, but we're just starting to kick off the local footy season. That's what we're all about here on The Local. It's all powered, of course, by Premier Data, and they are getting very busy, or starting to get very busy with some games going on around the nation and giving you all the data that matters. So if you need to find out more about that, check out the team at Premier Data, and they will help you willy-nilly, like they've been helping us as we prepare for a big 2026 local footy season. My name's Daniel Harf, and very, very keen to chat about the local footy scene after the Easter long weekend. And to do it with me every week on the program is the one and only Nick Sacco, local footy legend. Nick, welcome.
Harf, great to be with you once again. How was your Easter long weekend?
Easter long weekend was okay. Spent a bit of time covering some footy, covering some VFL, covering some AFL, watching some AFL just as a footy fan.
Nice.
And spent some time at the local footy as well. Caught up with the Baldwin and Blackburn grand final rematch to kick off the 2026 Eastern Footy Netball League Premier Division season at Cherry Road in Baldwin. A good game too.
Oh, I could imagine. I mean, they played a fantastic grand final last year, so you could only imagine it was going to be something similar. So we'll dive into some of those. But I want to start because you mentioned before about your willingness to wear different club jumpers and attire throughout this podcast,
Yep.
and you've gotten yourself underway already.
How good.
Tell us a bit more about what club you're wearing and what they're all about.
Well, this is the mighty jumper of the Northampton Rams Footy Club. Now, where's Northampton, you might ask yourself? I'm sure plenty of people would. Northampton is 463 k's north of Perth on the coast in WA. It's a 5-hour, 20-minute road trip, they tell me, to get to Northampton from Perth, depending on traffic, I'm sure. But coming out of Perth, there's not too much traffic. And this is their famous jumper. I don't know who number 19 is at the Northampton Rams, but they are getting some primetime coverage here on The Local, Nico. So they'll be wrapped about that. This is a very famous footy club. They won the 2023 premiership in the Great Northern Footy League in Geraldton, which is about 40 minutes, I think, from Northampton, they tell me. So it was broke a 19-year drought. But more than that, more than just the fact that we've got a jumper, and thank you to Benny Cameron for providing this for me too. Benny, a bit of a shout out to you. More than just providing this jumper for visual excellence here on The Local Footy Pod, the history of this football club and this town in terms of Australian rules football is like no other. None other on the planet. In the I'll give you some data here, Nico. You'll love this stuff.
Yes.
In 2021, the Australian census, the last Australian census was done in 2021. It tells me there are 868 residents in the town of Northampton, the population of 868. The history of AFL, but also WA footy impact, is nothing short of extraordinary. They've had 9 AFL players come out of Northampton. 9.
Wow.
So if that's in the men's, and there's one of the women's as well, Julia Teakle, who plays for Port Adelaide in the AFLW. So you can make that 10 AFL players out of a population of 868. If you break that down, so that's 1 in every 86.8 people.
I was trying to do the maths just as you were talking.
If you
That's
do the 10,
extraordinary.
that's 1 in every 86.8. If you just make it to the men's, it's 1 in 96.44. If you divide the population in half of men and women, it's basically an AFL player for every 48.7 men in the town.
Wow.
Now, there would be no other town in the history of the world that has provided that many elite level, national level elite athletes in one code, I don't reckon ever.
No. That is an extraordinary number.
What a town.
Yeah.
What are they doing up there?
We must get a few parents down there just to try and develop their kids quicker. No, that is fantastic and a credit, and it's great that you're representing them on The Local today because I'm sure they would love the pump up. But they might also not need it because they're growing homegrown talent just out of their ears.
Well, it's not just players. They're providing champions. So let me run you through some of the names.
Yes, tell me.
Patrick Cripps.
Yep.
2-time Brownlow medalist, 5-time best and fairest, 4-time All-Australian, captain of the Blues. He probably would prefer to be at Northampton at the moment than captain the Blues. Probably win a few more games. 231 games currently for Patrick Cripps. Jamie Cripps, cousin of. 275 games still in action. Secured her obviously at the start of his career now. West Coast Eagles premiership player, multiple leading goal kicker. So the Cripps have been good.
Yes.
Right. Josh Kennedy. Not the Socceroo and not the Hawthorn Sydney player, the Carlton West Coast player.
Ah, yes.
293 games. West Coast Premiership player, 2 Colemans, a 3-time All-Australian. Paul Hazelby was he number 1 pick? He was a high draft pick.
I think he
was a rising star. He won a rising star. That's what he did. Won a rising star as an All-Australian, Western Australian Footy Hall of Fame. 208 games for Paul Hazelby, the Fremantle champion. Harry Taylor.
Jeez.
280 games with the Cats, 2 premierships, 2-time All-Australian, one of the best defenders of the modern era. Daniel Chick, one of my former teammates from the Hawks, ended up at the West Coast Eagles, won a premiership, one of the best and fairest at Hawthorn, played 252 games. Tarkin Lockyer from Collingwood, 227 games for Tarkin, podium a couple of times at the best and fairest at Collingwood. Andrew Lockyer, his uncle, was the inaugural West Coast Eagle, played 78 games for the Eagles, but was a champ at East Fremantle, I think it was. 235 games all up. Bryn Teakle, who's played at Port and North Melbourne in more recent years, and as I mentioned, Julia Teakle, his sister, who plays at Port as well.
He's at Collingwood VFL at the moment too, Bryn.
He is too, spot on. So they've got 7 players of the 9 men that have played 200 plus games. And if you go through the population of players that play an AFL game and then go on to play 200, I think it's about 4 or 5%.
Yeah. That's
so 7 of 9 is 77%. If you come out of WA in Northampton and WA in the Rams wearing this famous jumper, you'll end up playing 77% chance you playing 200 games or more.
That is an unbelievable, and well done to you, Harf, on doing your research.
Well,
I would challenge any club out there to have a better strike rate than that. I don't think there would be.
If you can come up with a town in Australia that wears a sexy jumper like this, I want to see the jumper firstly, but I want to know the data behind it. I want to see if you can back that up. The Northampton Rams are responsible for champions of Australian rules football, and the ratio of player to champion is ridiculous, let alone AFL player to population. So one in every, I reckon it's about, if you split the ratio in half, the population in half, it's 435 people, 435 men, 435 women, if we do 50-50. And there's 9 AFL men and 1 AFL women's player.
And I like the jumper. You don't see
it's not about jumper.
You don't see a green and gold often used in Aussie rules. But
it's a big cricket colour scheme, isn't it? The green and gold.
It is.
And local cricket, in my local cricket league, is about 4 teams in the 8-team comp that wear bloody green and gold. It's a disgrace. Right. But this is good. I quite like now. I think number 19 might be a bit slimmer than me these days. But this is a rock solid jumper. I am rapt to be representing the Northampton Rams today here on the Local.
And we want to see you in different jumpers and different attires throughout the whole season. So if you think that Harf's going to look good in your local footy jumper.
How could I not, just by the way? Look at me. Look at me.
If you think that Harf looks good in your local footy jumper, send them through. We'll work out the way that we can get it over to our Backchat studios, and for sure we can represent. I'm even happy to potentially wear something too if it suits me.
Send them through.
Yep.
Send them through. We want to support all the local footy teams around the country. Doesn't matter where you are, country, WA, Metro Melbourne, regional New South Wales. We don't care. Let us know where your team is playing and what their story is, and we will rep them hard here on the Local, just like we're doing here today for the Northampton Rams. But we get back to the action on the field.
Yes.
That's happening. I think they've got a first game next week, the Rams. We'll keep an eye on them through the year. We had some games over the Easter long weekend. I mentioned the Ball and Blackburn game that I was at in the Eastern Footy League, but there was action aplenty across the state of Victoria in particular.
There certainly was. Well, let's start with where you were with the Ball and Blackburn game over in the Eastern Football Netball League, which was always going to be a highly anticipated game, and it was a really close encounter in the grand final last year. We know the Tigers roared home in the last quarter last year to go on and win the premiership. Tell us how it went this time around.
Similar story.
Yeah, right.
Blackburn had the lead. I think it was about 10-point lead with a couple of minutes to play, and Baldwin kicked the last 2 games in red time and snuck over the line by a couple of points. There was a breeze going down to the Whitehorse Road end, so the other end only saw 2 goals for the day. So Baldwin coming home to that end certainly helped with the breeze downhill there at Cherry Road. But it was a fantastic game of footy. Fantastic game of local footy. Ebbs and flowed through the quarters with that breeze. But to see them hang on or get over the line and Blackburn try and hang on late was a fantastic contest. And they'll be a bit flat, Blackburn, after the grand final last year, now this in round 1. But I think what we saw in the weekend, they're going to be a serious contender again.
Do you think they'll still be the 2 best teams in the comp by seasons? And obviously very early at
Hard
this
to
stage.
tell. We know that Stephen May is going to be at the East Ringwood Footy Club in that same competition. He's going to play forward. Who saw that through the weekend as well. He's going to play forward, Stephen May. And they've got somebody else that signed with them. Did we talk about that last week?
No.
Another recruit?
We didn't.
I think there was another recruit of note.
No, there was.
That went to the East Ringwood Footy Club. So I think they'll be up there as well. And then you got the perennials like Bourne, Benny Wise doing a great job coaching Roval. They'll be up there again as well. So it's going to be a fierce competition, you reckon, Premier Division of the Eastern Footy Netball League?
It always is. They always deliver in spades, really. I'm just trying to work it out because it was, Will Phillips. Will
Phillips, that's who it was.
Yes, from, of course, North Melbourne. He's spending some time on Collingwood's VFL list as well. So
Yep.
I'm not sure how much action we'll see him in East Ringwood colours, but nonetheless, I mean, on paper, you've got Stephen May and Will Phillips as your two marquee signings. You're in for a pretty good year regardless.
On top of the quality they've already got, they've got plenty of quality still there.
Yeah.
At East Ringwood. So they'll be all right. They'll be okay.
All right, well, let's go through a couple more that we've had throughout the weekend. So we'll start in the EDFL, and that was another grand final rematch with Strathmore, of course, taking on Keilor, and it was the Moors, as they call them. I don't know about that nickname. We might chat to our next guest about the little.
That's a poor nickname.
But they won by 37 points in the end. Matt Allison booted 4 goals in the win, and they kicked 6 goals to 1 in the last quarter to get over the line.
What was the margin?
37 points.
Okay, so really even Stevens in the three-quarter time, effectively.
But Keilor kicked 8 goals 21 for the match, which would hurt. And Mickey McGuan wouldn't be too impressed.
Mighty Mick would be flat about that.
But his son Tom apparently had an outstanding game, which is no surprise. He was as dominant as a junior, and I'm sure he will be around once again. So,
well, mid-season draft, these sort of opportunities for players like Tommy after his SSP attempt at Port Adelaide. Adelaide, was it?
Yeah.
It's New South Australia. So we'll see how Tommy goes. But that's, Mighty Mick will be flat. But
821.
The Moors.
Yeah, not ideal. Moving over to, so actually we'll go back to the EDFL just for a moment because Toddy Goldstein, who we spoke about earlier in this season of the Potty, made his debut for Pascoe Vale. He kicked 2 goals and Pascoe Vale went on to win by 58 points in the end over Hillside. So
is he rucking or is he playing forward, the big fella?
I would assume that he's spending some time in both. I mean, if you're as tall as Todd Goldstein, you can't get away with
just sitting in the square,
not being in the ruck, I'm sure.
I don't know, if you're 140 years old like Toddy Goldstein, I reckon you could pretty much demand, I'm staying in the square and I'm not moving.
I mean, true. He's probably got some authority there. In the Northern Football Netball League, so Greensborough, they won by 27 points against Eltham. Now, it wasn't easy for the Borough. They were only single-digit margin at half-time, but Tom Mitchell and his brother Will, they just tore it to shreds and ended up having a bunch of the footy between them. Don't have the exact numbers on how many disposals he had, but you could imagine that they would have been racking it up pretty easily.
I would think Tommy would have had a fair bit of it. I saw some footage of that floating around, that he's inside, his contested ball winning again, Tommy Mitchell. It would have been nice. First time the Mitchell boys have played together, Tommy and Will, so I'm sure one of my old coaches, Barry, was there. Barry Mitchell, former champion for Sydney, Carlton and Collingwood, of course. And one of my favourite coaches, Barry Mitchell. He would have been there watching the boys do their thing. So good recruit for the Slime, for a little, the Greensborough Slime, for a little cameo.
It's funny, if you get called the Slime as a nickname, you probably don't want to take it on board as much, but Greensborough seem to do it. They love.
They've embraced the Slime, I think.
They do. In the other NFNL game, it was Reservoir and Laylaw. So Reservoir with a huge win, 102 points in the end.
Ooh.
And it was Aaron Edwards that got the goals going. He kicked 5.
Is he playing for Reza?
He is. Second season there. So Aaron Edwards, Levi Greenwood, I think Kane Pettifer was there last year. I'm not sure if he's sticking around this year. But yeah, they did end up getting a few ex-AFL recruits, and this is a Reservoir team that had their struggles over the last 4 or 5 years. I think they only won a couple of games in that period of time. Had a much improved campaign last year, and Levi and Aaron Edwards are sticking around again. So a nice win to start there.
He's tough to stop, Aaron Edwards. He's a good player.
Well, you would think so at local footy level as well, so it doesn't surprise me at all. In the Southern Football Netball League, Cheltenham, the reigning premiers in the top division, they got a perfect start. It was a come-from-behind win over St Paul's McKinnon. They trailed at every break, and it was Jacob Edwards, another former North player.
Yep.
He was named best of field in the victory for Cheltenham, so a great result there. So Lee Brennan, who is a star recruit for Macedon, and this is in the Riddle District Football League.
Yes.
He kicked 5 goals in a 41-point win over the Gisborne Giants. So a shout-out to Macedon and Lee Brennan. That's a nice way to start at your new club by getting on the scoreboard quite a bit.
Yeah, helpful.
Not a nice way to start a new club was Gary Rowan over at the Bellarine League.
What did Gaze get up to?
He was kept goalless for Ocean Grove. And Anglesea went on to win by 42 points in the end. So the big-name recruit of Gary Rowan making his way to Ocean Grove. The defence did a great job in keeping him goalless in the end and wasn't able to get the job done.
It sounds like he wasn't getting a lot of supply just by the way things are being told there.
No.
Nico, not a lot of supply for Gary Rowan. He'd be a tough local footy matchup, wouldn't he? Athletic, good size.
Yeah, you
tough matchup, I reckon.
And Sam Lloyd, who is the playing co-coach for Geelong Amateur, which we'll
From the Tigers, Sam Lloyd?
Yep. We'll get his stats up shortly. I don't want to spoil it too much, but let's just say he had a big afternoon.
He had a good day.
Yeah, had a pretty big afternoon.
Righto. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. We've got some stats coming up too, some of the best performances from the weekend, so stay tuned for that.
We certainly do. A couple more to finish. So in the Goulburn Valley, their grand final rematch, it was Kyabram that ran away with a 28-point victory over Rochester.
Yep.
Charlie Barnett finished with 3 goals. He was one of the best on the ground for the Bombers. So Kyabram, you were expecting to have another pretty good campaign.
Yeah, they'd be happy with that. And I think the way that's the league set up, we talked about this last week, that when you get the grand final rematches, it probably gives you a fair indication of where those teams might start to be for the rest of the season as well, which is good for the local footy lovers out there.
Absolutely. James Frawley, playing for South Bendigo, he finished with 5 goals for his side, but it wasn't enough. They went down in the end.
Who's he playing for, did you say? South Bendigo?
He's playing for South Bendigo. They lost by 7 points to Strathfield, so unfortunately, not a great start for South Bendigo, despite James Frawley's best commitments.
Yeah, right. Well, again, talk about matchups. Good size, strong, clunks the footy, tough to beat. But the Strathfields, their boys did it. Because they wear the Geelong hoops, don't the Strathfields?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon I've played against them.
Absolutely.
Playing for the mighty Clinton Tigers.
Let's finish with Stawell. Obviously, a big weekend for them.
Yes. What a weekend down there.
Gift.
How good, just by the way, was Shaqiri Richardson.
Yes.
With that scratch victory yesterday at Stawell. I know we're talking athletics and running, not local footy, but that was quite something.
It's a big weekend for the town and everybody gets through.
Have you been there through an Easter weekend?
Never been.
I was there. We go camping in the Grampians most Easter weekends, and Stawell's not too far away from Halls Gap where we stay. And I've been there a couple of times. Last year was great. We had Gack out there for the weekend. That was pretty cool. The kids loved it. There was kids everywhere hanging off the fences last year, and I imagine the same would have been for this weekend. So it's good. You got the Stawell gift. You got the races on the Sunday, I think it is. Races. Yep. And then the local footy as well.
Absolutely. If you listen to Bruce's commentary, by the way, I suggest you do. It was very, very, let's say special.
Would you say delicious?
I'll say it's special.
It's delicious.
So Stawell, who fell 1 game short in they lost the grand final last year, went down to Ararat. That's who they played over the weekend. And they came away with a 5-point win. So the perfect start for Stawell as they look to go one better in 2026. So a pretty good weekend throughout the town, you would have to say.
That's a big win for the town of Stawell. It's a great little town too. If you're driving through, pop in and say good day. Great bakery, as all the great country towns in Victoria in particular have. And I'm sure there's great country town bakeries all over the nation. Tell me about your best country town bakery too, just by the way. I'd like to know more about that from a local footy sense.
Do a bit of a trip.
We'll do a road trip.
That's okay.
Do a road trip to the best bakeries. That sounds all right.
We can add that as a segment. I don't see why not.
Throw it in.
So there were just some. I mean, obviously there were so many more that we could go through, but there's some of the ones that caught my eye. I think Bacchus Marsh had a 51-point win as well. Lavington and the Ovens and Murrays had a good performance over North Aubrey by 21 points. So yeah, there was just so many.
Who won the Wangaratta Cup?
Oh, the
Do
Wangaratta.
we know?
Yeah, we can get that.
We talked about this last week. Wangaratta taking on Wang Rovers.
Yes. Who would you guess?
I think Wangaratta won that. I have no idea, but I'm just guessing that Wangaratta might have won that one. That was a big game across country Victoria in the Easter weekend. So I'm expecting to see a good contest, but I think Wangaratta might have won.
It was the Rovers that won.
Rovers.
12 points. So
Cop that, Harford. That's what the Rovers fans are saying out there. Cop that, Harford. What would you know?
10-15-75 to 9-9-63 to Rovers ended up getting the job done in the end there.
10-15 to 9. Oh, that's convincing.
A 6 p.m. start that game.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, they would have had, who knows what they've done beforehand. They might have had some 19s reserves, maybe the women's game. Make it a big day.
Do you like night footy on a local scene, or does it really depend on the lighting? Because some grounds can stand up to it, others just can't.
Got to have good lighting, and there's been a lot of upgrades to grounds, and council have done a lot of work in local grounds for the last decade or so, where lighting it's possible to play night footy, and I think every now and then it's a good thing, just to break up the routine a bit, give people a chance to have a day. Friday nights would be good, I reckon, particularly if you can work it around wherever you are across the country, interstate footy on the Friday night in the AFL, so the local fans can get out there and be a part of it. Every now and then, I reckon, not every week, but every now and then for your club to play a night game would be a good idea, I reckon.
When I was at my 3 years as media manager at Northern, they seemed to be more and more prominent as each year went on. Clubs were really embracing the night setup. And even in the women's competition, we saw quite a few Friday night games, which suited some of the girls playing a little bit more than on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon. So, yeah, it's a trend that's sort of on the rise.
Well, I think it's probably a result of the women's game. A lot girls' footy and women's footy coming in because Saturdays is pretty jam-packed with men's footy, has been for 100 years. And the introduction of women's footy or women's teams into a lot of clubs, they've got to find other slots to play. So night is a good option, I reckon. You're going to switch which teams play in the night time, give them all a chance to play in the night. I reckon it's a good idea.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Tell us if you think night footy is the way to go going forward in local footy.
And who's got the best lights or the worst lights for night footy that you've played in? I want to know about that. Because there'd be some dodgy setups going around, I reckon.
Pressure him to get some money from the government.
There'd be some real dodgy setups going around, I reckon. We can fix that for you here on the Local. Hey, that's sort of the game summaries, but can you impress me, please, with some data, please, from the team at Premier Data who have logged all the details, all the data. They've put it out there to the masses. Show me some excellence from the weekend, can you? Please?
Their Easter weekend was packed to the brim on getting all of these stats across. So
they would have been eating that many eggs just to be so hyped and amped up with the sugar, just to get through all the games they had to cover.
We have 15 stats to go through.
Righto.
Let's get through.
Let's get through the 15 stats from the Easter long weekend of local footy.
We're going to start in Torquay. The Torquay Tigers.
That's where Trevor Spoke was playing, wasn't
he? He didn't play on the weekend.
He didn't play.
He's expecting to make his debut actually this week against Queenscliff, but it's not confirmed just yet. Okay, so let's start in Torquay, and we're going to start with Matthew Bogue.
Not Bogue. Bogue.
So
they got a Bogue and a Bogue.
And we've got a Bogue and a Bogue. That's exactly right. So 190 ranking points, 44 disposals, 39 handballs.
Oh, inside beast.
11 clearances and a goal.
So, there's a couple of things here. So that's a big day. 190 points is a big day. 44 disposals is good business. 39 of those. So you're an inside beast. So I reckon you look like me. I reckon you're a strong, sort of short, stocky inside character. If anyone knows Matthew Bowe, can you send us a photo? I want to find out what he looks like, because that looks to me, with 11 clearances, like someone sort of my frame. 5'10" to 6 foot, stocky, inside animal, doesn't get outside much.
So
I need some more run from Matthew.
Are you going to compare yourself to players each and every week?
Possibly.
Depending on the stats.
Possibly. We'll see how we go.
All right.
But that's a good start.
This is a ruckman from the same team, so Spencer Marr.
Righto.
So he 74 ranking points. Again, 21 handballs from 22 disposals.
Yeah, well, this is the traditional ruckman. This is the ruckman who's encouraged not to kick it.
Yeah.
Who gets possessions. He's had 22 disposals with 21 handballs. And no doubt there's been a few wraparounds from little dodgy midfielders looking for a cheap kick too, just by the way, for Big Spence.
For sure.
Well done, 74, but 21 handballs out of 22.
Absolutely.
Right. So did you say they won?
Yes, they won 166-18 over the Surf Coast Suns, who were a brand new team.
See, I've never heard of the Surf Coast Suns. That makes sense.
They are a brand new team. This is Tynan Smith as well from the Tigers. He had a monster afternoon.
He's kicked 11.
200 ranking points. 21 kicks from 23 disposals, 11 marks, 11 goals.
He's kicked 11. Yeah. 11 marks, 11 goals.
Yeah.
That's a good day out for the big Tynan Smith. I'm tipping centre half forward type.
Yeah, you would expect.
Because that's too many kicks. 21 kicks is too many for a full forward.
He wouldn't be handballing much, you would think.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I reckon he's a big centre half forward type who's caused havoc up and down the ground. But 11 snags, that's a nice start to the season. Big Tynan Smith, well done to you.
And then we mentioned before Sammy Lloyd.
Here we go.
The Ballerine. So he finished with 32 disposals, 8 clearances, 4 goals and 9 marks. And
so he's going to cause all sorts of grief.
You would expect so. And again, going back to my northern roots and seeing him play for Bundoora, he was an absolute
Oh, that's right. He did too.
Yeah.
He did too.
So he was terrific. And shout out to Sammy, who's continuing to tear it up at local level.
Expect that.
Bradley Benaki.
What a great name, just by the way.
He also had a big day, 37 disposals, 10 clearances, 4 goals, 17 contested possessions, 178 ranking points for him. So
we've got to get Bradley Benaki off half-backy. That's what we need to do. That's what I'll be playing, Benaki off half-backy.
Actually, we can also, as we go through these each week, which ones have the best names, the strangest names, the ones that you don't expect.
I like that. Well, that's a good day, 37 and 4.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Clearances, well done.
Michael Hartley. He
Do we
played
know
for
him?
Castlemaine, of course, ex-AFL.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So he finished with 24 disposals, 7 clearances, 3 goals, and 17 contested possessions. So again, not a bad,
That's a good day for Big Michael Hartley there.
not a bad afternoon at all.
The Castlemaine, righto. Okay, good luck to Castlemaine this year.
Liam Kavanagh from Strathmore, 194 ranking points, 33 touches, 10 intercept marks, 16 intercept possessions. So a pretty elite defensive game, I would think, there from Liam.
Well done, Liam. We're going to have a chat to the Strathmore Footy Club later on this week. So we might ask you a few questions about Liam.
Absolutely. Moving on, Mackenzie Cowley from Tongala in the Murray Football League.
Nice.
So another 30-plus disposal game, but also 4 goals to go along with 18 contested possessions and 6 clearances.
So goal kicking mids.
Yeah,
It's the new vogue. It's the new black. The goal kicking mids.
absolutely.
You got to have them. You got to have real good ones. Looks like Mackenzie Cowley might be one of those for Tongala. Well done.
Now the next 3 are from all the same team again. This is from Latrobe in the Northwest Football League over in Tasmania.
Oh yeah, good. Well, we spoke to the Glenorchy president last week in the Southwest Footy League.
Now, yes, we certainly did.
What was Southern?
So yep,
was it
Southern.
called?
Yeah, Southern.
Southern.
Yep, spot on. Now they won by 100 points. Latrobe.
Righto.
Some of these stats are simply extraordinary. Josh Ponting, don't know if there's a relation, but he had 50 disposals, 24 contested possessions, 16 clearances, and then finished with 8 marks.
Well, there can't be that many Pontings floating around in Tassie, Ken. There's got to be some level of connection to the Great Ricardo.
I would have thought so.
RTP. What a good start that is. 206, 50.
50 disposals.
Got 50. 24 contested, 16 clearances. Yeah, you know what I would have loved to have seen, though? Now, I'm not trying to pot his game. He's had a great day.
Here we go.
I just need a goal from you. Joshy, things have gone pretty well. I just need you to get forward at some stage and kick a snag for us.
Oh, yeah, imagine that as a coach.
I'm on goal watch for JP. I am on goal watch.
All right.
Well, that's a big day. Well done. That's awesome.
So let's look at his next teammate.
50.
You might know the name. I don't know if you really do, but Dyson Heppel.
Is he playing in Tassie?
I don't know if it's a one-off or if he's there permanently because I know he's doing some things at Collingwood.
Yeah, he's coaching at Collingwood, yeah.
But he had just a lazy 42. He kicked 3 goals.
42 and 3.
11 marks and 18 contested possessions.
So clearly, do we know the margin of this game?
100 points.
100 points, right. So things went pretty well for Latrobe. But actually, pretty handy player to have floating around. Now, we talked about Gary Ablett Jr. last week in Glenorchy, but Dyson Heppel's not quite a 2-time Brownlow medalist, but a fantastic player. Absolutely. And in ripping Nick too, just by the way. Have you seen him recently? He looks like he's
too recently.
Fittest man he's ever been.
I mean, does going on I'm a Celebrity help you with that a little bit, does it? Yeah.
I might need a bit of that. 42 and 3 is a good day for Dyson Heppel. I'll tell you what, the Bombers might be able to use him too, just by the way.
And still playing really good footy at VFL level last year over at Port Melbourne. And then the third from that Latrobe team, Lockie Warren, again, another dominant display, 193 ranking points.
Who did they play?
46 disposals. They played East Devonport.
So East Devonport have coughed up 50, 47 and 46 to 3 blokes.
I don't know if this has happened before, but from Premier Data, 3 plays from the same game in the same team with 190 ranking points or more.
45 disposals plus.
Yeah. That's extraordinary.
That's quite something. We're owning possession. We're probably owning forward half territory too, just by the way, if we keep the modern lingo.
Yes.
Putting a lot of pressure on the defenders.
Yeah.
My goodness. That's a strong start for a Northwest Footy League team, Latrobe there. Well done to them. That's awesome.
Staying in Tassie, but heading over to the women's side.
Yes.
Have a look at this performance from Georgia.
Georgia, 245.
245 ranking points, 42 disposals, 27 contested possessions,
Bloody
12 clearances, and 15 intercepts.
Well, again,
I mean,
I don't want to put a dampener on this for poor old Georgia, but I'd love to see a goal.
I'm guessing she's a defender. But
well, I don't know. She's got 12 clearances. I was thinking that myself, but she's got 27 contested and 12 clearances. I don't know. Maybe she's just up and down the ground, just causing havoc.
That might be the best one we've seen.
Well, 245 is as high as we've got so far, so that's pretty impressive from Georgia. Oh, there's more to come.
All right, 3 more to finish.
Righto.
Now, remember at the start we spoke about Ruckman and we spoke about hit-outs.
Yes.
Now,
not our man again.
It's not our man. He's actually one that you will know from ex-AFL land.
Okay.
But check out these stats from Andrew Phillips, former Essendon
big Andrew
man.
Phillips, big sauce.
68 hit-outs. 13 of them to advantage.
Okay, I need
But he
that
finished
ratio
with
to be a
22
bit better.
disposals and 190. Also in Tassie playing for Lauderdale.
Right, that's nice from Big Sauce. I'd love to see a goal for him too. I'd love to see him push forward. Sauce, I really would. I think you're good enough to do that.
All right.
You've dominated possession, dominated hit-outs. Surely we'll get some territory. You can push forward and get a long bomb to snake in the goal square sort of situation.
All right.
Well done.
Two more to finish.
2 to go.
All right.
Some of the best performances from the weekend.
Staying in the women, staying in Tassie, this is Sarah Skinner playing for Glenorchy, who we spoke about
Sarah Skinner.
again last week. I think, yes.
She played AFLW, Sarah Skinner?
I think that is the one.
I reckon she
I'll
might
need
have.
to fact check it. And it probably makes sense when you look at the fact that she had 254
254
ranking points, 46 disposals, 15 clearances, 28 contested possessions, 5 snags.
There we go. See, we're kicking snags. This is what we want, Sarah. This is the good stuff.
This probably tops the list, I reckon.
46 and 5 is a good day. 28 contested, bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's well done. So she's one of our Glenorchy champs.
Yes.
Oh, well, we're on board Glenorchy, so this is good business. We'll follow them through the year. Well done, Sarah. That's a very, very fine performance. 254, that's going to be tough to beat.
Extraordinary.
Is it going to be tough to beat, or is there someone you're holding back?
No, that is the one. That is the top.
254 is the season high, right? We'll
All
keep an eye
right.
on that. That's the marker.
Yes.
For anyone out there, 254 is your marker.
So we're going to finish in Sunraysia.
Oh, good.
This is Rhett Montgomery for South Mildura. 37 disposals, 17 marks, 7 of them were intercept marks, then goes forward to kick 2 goals in the final quarter. They win by 5 points.
Now, this is a bit of a shout out to all the local coaches out there who have got a dominant defender. And the game's in hand. Do we know the scoreline? Do we know if they won?
79 to 74. They won by 5 points. Yep.
Oh, so he's been the difference maker gone forward late.
Yep.
Kicked 2 goals. I was thinking they might have been in control and the coach has just given a chance to lick the ice cream a bit.
Chucked him forward.
Get him forward for a couple of
2
snags.
last quarter goals. They win the game.
Game's on the line. The old swingman play from the coach there at Sunray and South Mildura. And Rhett Montgomery wins the game for him. That is fantastic stuff. 37 and 2 snags. 17 marks to go along with it. That is well done.
Yeah.
Well, great coaching, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate the coach.
Absolutely.
We need to win the game. What are we going to do? Let's get Rhett forward.
Absolutely.
Love that.
So there's some of the big stats that we pulled. Thanks to Premier Data for their great work over the weekend, and we can't wait to see many more of those throughout the year.
No, there's going to be heaps of those, but the team at Premier Data are very, very keen to input as much data as they can and show us how good all the local players are around the country. We want to find out about that too, and make sure you click on the link. Tell your friends to subscribe, to listen to the potty every week. A couple of editions come out every week, and tell us what's happening in your footy club. Send through your jumper like the mighty Northampton Rams did. Good luck to them in their first game coming up, and we'll celebrate your local footy club because that's what we do here on The Local.